Hello and welcome back again. This is part 5 of our platinum walkthrough for Indy and the Staff of Kings. And nothing really to go over before we start the video, so with all that being said, let's get into it. So, I had mentioned in my past video, the Istanbul one, how that was my favorite level so far, and that Nepal could bypass it if they did it right. And it has. This is now my favorite level. We have one level to go after this. So, come out to Nepal. She ventures off on her own for whatever reason. And kind of, you start your journey. And this one is also, like, I was able to shave a lot of time off this one. This comes in at 26 minutes. So, but I can't really tell if it's like a shorter mission or there's only 5 artifacts to find in the whole level, right? And like the last 3 are like back to back to back, like, so right here, you gotta survive the blizzard winds. And there's a miscellaneous trophy in here too that's very, very easy. Like, you would have to try to miss it, and this is part 1 of that. You have to light all the campfires, and it's advantageous to do so because it refills your health. But that's fire number 1, and like, you would have to try to miss this trophy, but I'm still documenting it in here so you guys don't miss it. Now here, well, after this section, get like a little, he falls down, and then you got like a little quick time event. Press X so you don't fall. I did do some speeding up in this video too. Not a lot, like not as much as the last video, because I didn't really need to shave a lot of time off. But you'll see, I'll mention it before it happens. So now here you're gonna want to go, like, the main path is to the right, but I had a sneaky suspicion that I might have, if I went through that area, it'd be like a point of no return, and I wanted to just make sure there was no artifacts. And it's actually right there on the left. But I was like, no, let me turn around and just kind of see if anything pops up, and I just happen to walk right into it, and that's very missable, like hard to see. It doesn't even look like you can break that, but that's artifact number 1. And then you can go on and, oh, and here's the journal. This is how I found out, it only had 5 in it. See, I got the first one. There's only 5. Kind of strange. But this is more of like there's a lot of combat in this, actually. But also a lot of like environmental, like, puzzles. So that takes up the majority of the time of the level, so that's probably why there's only 5 in here. Make sure you hit that quick time square so you can jump across safely. Yeah, so when I mentioned this is my favorite level so far, oh, and here's fire number 3. You're gonna have to pick up this like embered stick and take it to the fire and drop it on there and then light it. That'll be fire number 2. So I have like kind of an obsession with snow levels in video games. I mean, it's way, way, way better now. Like, you look at like what Uncharted 2 did even like so long ago, and Black Myth had really good snow. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. What else? Oh, Last of Us Part 2. Those are like God of War, Ragnarok. Those are like top tier when it comes to snow. Ironically, friend of the show and just overall good friend, Alex from Podcast Now, if you watch him, he constantly talks about his obsession with water in video games. So I like the snow, he likes the water. So anyways, this is fire 3. So, but you have to, in order to light it, it's kind of like a little puzzle. You have to push that boulder, that glacier or whatever, block of ice, into the hole so it stops the wind from coming in. And I don't know what I was doing. I was kind of fumbling with the controls. But, and then I almost pushed the stick out. I was like, no, no, no. So I was still able to pick it up, and I just drop it on the fire here. Well, you can't light it until you close that up. Kind of cool, like actually like realistic too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a pretty cool little puzzle. Yeah, one thing I hate about this game is when you're pushing and pulling objects. Like, it's very tedious as composed like newer games, you know. So there you go, light the fire, and then you'll get your trophy too. That's it. That's all three of them, real quick. By the mountain embers. Nice little photo. And then when you're ready, you move on. There's like, I think you break through this wall. Oh no, what happened here was after you break through that wall, it triggers a quick time chase of a tiger, and I actually forgot to record that part. So, but it's nothing special. Like, it's a cool little event, but like, it's really quick, and you won't miss anything by not seeing it in here. So there, Indy meets up with his pal. This is the guy that hid his journal in not the last level. Was it the last level? No, the one before that, level 2 or 3, level 3. Good friend of Indy's, I guess. I was trying to figure out if he had a connection to the movies, because he seems familiar, but again, the only one I don't quite remember all of is Temple of Doom, because I don't really watch that one a lot. So if he's in any of them, it'd be that one, but I doubt it. Probably just made it for the game. Indy knows a lot of people, so. You see the Zeppelin flying overhead. From what I think that's the last level, is that Zeppelin. So, and actually, well, I'll just wait until, you know. But here I'm just, you know, scouring, looking for, trying not to miss any treasures. And then here you get into a gunfight, which is pretty cool. I like how, like, the gunfights, like, they seem to, like, each one is different, right? Like, different environmental destruction, different enemy types. They keep it fresh. It's not, they're not like just, oh, here we go again, like the same exact thing. You know, they kind of mix it up here and there, which I can appreciate. But the enemies, like the fist fights you get into this, are like pretty difficult actually. Like, the enemies seem like they're all brutes and they block everything. Like, and they all have weapons. Like, I died a couple of times in one of I think the second fight, and I actually ended up fast forwarding it. But yeah, I know you're probably thinking, well, where's the next artifact? Well, it's kind of coming up, I guess, kind of, after this gunfight. And I think there's like that fist fight I was talking about also is before the next one. And they're all kind of in plain sight too, like other than like the first one. You'll see like the next ones are like, you'd have to try that and miss them pretty much. Actually, the fourth one I stumbled across going for the fifth one, but it wasn't like it seemed like normally you would probably take that path anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a clear path, right? So when that comes up, I'll show you guys. So here's a fight. I just kind of power through it, but see how they block everything. Smack that dude against the wall, and then here's gonna be okay, yeah. So we do get another artifact before what I was thinking, but basically you drop down here. I'll be really careful because I actually fell off a couple of times. Just walk and drop. Don't try to run because you can like overshoot that and just fall to your death. Excuse me. I have a little bit of a cold I'm battling, so just bear with me. So from here, you're going to want to jump up onto that pagoda thing and then press square right here and you use it as a zip line, and probably one of the coolest cutscenes I've seen in the game so far. Oh, nope. And then she walks in. Just really well done, like Indiana Jones style cutscene. Hopefully Indy's alright. Of course he is. He's Indy. So after that, you're going to have this quick time event. These seem to get harder. Like, I was actually kind of struggling to keep it in the green. But this one's cool. You get to take down the scaffolding over here, and like, I think it takes them all out, or maybe just one, but big old ripple effect. And then you pop the last guy. Bap. That was kind of an awkward transition. Usually after a gunfight, you'll like show him holster his gun, and it just kind of cut. I don't know, that was weird. Nazis doing Nazi things. I was hoping he'd do like a stealth takedown on him, but no. So yeah, I fast forward this fight because there's a lot of enemies. I die a few times. They all have weapons. So let me know in the comments what your favorite levels have been so far. I like engaging with the community, so the more comments, the better. And also, I know I thanked you guys beforehand, but I was looking at my analytics for my page, and I wanted to give a special shout out to all the subscribers I've earned since I started this series. But I haven't compiled it all quite yet. The YouTube Studio app is kind of weird for those of you that may create content. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like you have to filter it the right way to get like the recent subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on that, and I'll put it in the last part, which is, be part 6. So then, you could already see the artifact number 3 off in the distance. And I went back and I added timestamps to videos 1 through 3. I still need to do 4 and this one, which I'm gonna do today. So, and I might even do I'll probably end up doing part 6 today too, just to finish it off, get it over with. And I have a lot of big projects I'm working on right now, a lot of 10-year anniversaries. 2015 was a big year for gaming. I mentioned it in my last video, but I've already put one out for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And I'm not gonna do every game, just games that I actually enjoyed, like, some of the top tier games that came out that year, and actually some of my favorite games of all time came out that year, so it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do Mad Max. That might be my next one. I'm gonna do Arkham Knight, of course, because If you've been watching, you know I'm a huge Batman fan. One of my favorite games of all time. Metal Gear 5 also came out in 2015, but I don't know if I probably will end up doing because it's a special game. I just keep forgetting that it came out that year, right? So I'll probably do that one too. I've done some minor videos on it before, so I do have some footage and stuff. So that was the one that I ran into, but as you can see, I was just looking for a way to like get to the fifth one, which is right here, like literally, like you've seen it off in the distance. All you gotta do is pull this down and then run over and grab it, and you'll also get the trophy for all artifacts in Nepal. There's the trophy, Mountain Antiquities. You know, it was weird. I know I mentioned in the first video how I downloaded and launched the game very early in the morning, like as soon as it dropped, and started it to check if there was trophies because I couldn't find online if it was going to have any or not, and there wasn't any. And later that day, I took a nap or something, and later that night, there was an update, and I was like, ooh, I hope this is adding trophies, and sure enough, it added trophies. I've never heard of a situation like that. Either they forgot to add them in, or they weren't quite done with them or something. I don't know, but I've never heard of that. Like, trophies not being available, like, upon release of the game. I mean, of course, there was, back in the day when trophies started, in 2009, the PS3 had already been out for, like, 3 years, or 2 years. And then they retroactively went back and did a lot of the games that, mainly their games, first party games like Metal Gear 4 and Uncharted 1, they added trophies to them. Yeah, I'm just full of useful information about gaming. But it's a big part of my life, so. I actually like this too. It's like telling the story of Moses, like the burning bush, but like it tells it in its own unique way. Like, maybe how like the people from Nepal thought about it or whatever. Pretty cool. So now here's Moses in the manger. If you don't know the story, Moses was found drifting down a river in a manger, and was taken in by a woman in Africa, and he grew up with Pharaoh and his son Ramses, who ends up becoming Pharaoh later on. And regardless of what you believe or whatever, like the story, it's a really good story. And I like the version of what's the movie, Gods and Kings, or Gods and Generals. I don't know. It's called Exodus. I like the way they told it that way, like where Moses was like actually a soldier, and him and Ramses were like best friends growing up, and then I believe like they exiled him or something happened where he like disappeared for a long time and came back to free the slaves, and Ramses was now Pharaoh, and he was like tyrannical, like forcing them to build the pyramids and stuff. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's really well done. It's got Christian Bale and I think Tom Edgerton is his name. I forget the guy that plays Ramses, but it's a really good movie. So you push that there, opens the door, weirdly animated, like it like sucked into the ground instead of like turning into stairs. I don't know. That was kind of weird. So now basically, I mean, I love it when levels do this, like especially like for content creation. So I fast forward this because it took way too long to do it. But it's pretty simple. I just kind of messed up on the last statue, and it takes a while because you're pushing the statues, right? Like basically you hit that button and it melts the snow away, and then you can grab a statue, tediously move it onto its platform, and then you can step on the thing again, and with the new statues in place it'll melt the ice to free up the... But see, it only did one this time, so this is where I was dumb, and I was like, alright, like, I'm gonna put it here, but then wait, there's no statue. I have to put it on that one to the left. Stupidly, I did that because the fire would breathe out the wrong way, and then I realized it halfway through. And it gets stuck on a lot of things, so that's why I decided to speed this portion up. So it's fast, but like you can still see what I'm doing, and you could save time yourself if you just don't do what I did. So I was like, oh, I should just move this second one straight to the freaking button there and melt that to get that last statue. Then of course I had to move the other one back. I'm glad that pushing and pulling objects in modern games is like not as tedious. So then you step on the switch, the things like raise up, and Moses, boom, stomps it like he was like parting the Red Sea or whatever. So it makes the water flow into these vents, and then the staff itself pops out of that center compartment. And I love the design of the staff. It's like just a simple staff, like it's just a stick. I thought it was gonna be all like adorned in like gold, but no, it's just a stick. But we're yet to see. Well, I like I said, I don't remember the game, the ending or anything, so we'll see what kind of power it wields and why the Nazis want it. It's a quick time event here. Just don't get squished. That's representing the chariots, like the water crashing on the army. Pretty cool. Oh, a floating stick. And this is like a double cross, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. She seems to be British intelligence, but doesn't really want to hurt Indy. She wired the place to blow. That's why she was looking at the dynamite earlier. And it seems like she's only doing this because she knows the Nazis are like right there. But she's got the detonator. She's telling them basically like, or he tells her like, blow it. We'll blow it from the outside in, but the Nazis are there, so of course they are. The only trophy I'm worried about for the rest of the game is the miscellaneous trophy for the last level. You have to defeat him, Moeller or whatever, without taking damage. But that's where the rewind feature is going to come in handy. At the end of this video, you should have, I think, 16 trophies? Yeah, out of 21. So this last scene, I cut out a lot of it because I was like, did not know what to do, and stupidly, I knew what to do, but I didn't know how to reach it, and the thing's right there. Like, I ran around that room for like 5 minutes, probably. And the last part I left in just because it's like one of those cool escape scenes. But that's it. After this part and the cutscene, you'll get your trophy for completing the level, and then we'll basically, be on the last part in the next one and do some cleanup, like as far as like the artwork. After we beat the game and get all the in level trophies, there's like one final trophy where you have to like go into the journal or go into the extras menu, and you have to like watch or like just view every picture of every piece of concept art, and like basically read about or just click on the every artifact that we've collected, and that should be the final trophy we get. Because I believe you have to have all of the... Yeah, you do. You have to have all of the artifacts in order to get that trophy. Cool little getaway. Little baby Moses with a gun. And that's all she wrote. So thanks for watching. If you're new, consider subscribing. And see you guys on the next video.